God dag alle sammen. Today we're going to speak a little bit about the actual sources that you need to know about if you're going to get into paganism or if you are already, because a lot of people I can see are calling themselves pagan, and I don't know some of them personally, some of them I do, but they seem like they don't have any idea what they're looking at. It seems like all they've done is watch some Marvel movies and say they're a pagan, and it's just you need to go in a bit deeper than that if you want to call yourself a Norse pagan. So I'm going to break that down and what you would need to really read to have a decent understanding of it all. So there's four layers, and then the deeper we go, the deeper the understanding of the beliefs are going to go. So I'll break it down here. So first, let's take a look here. First, you'll have just books like this. You'll have books like that. They're for kids. They're storybooks. But many adults who actually call themselves pagans don't ever progress past this, unfortunately, because these are just so easy to understand. They're written in story format. They're written in modern times, and maybe some of the earliest ones are written in the 1800s, written by who knows who historians or just kids authors and something like this. Although they may be accurate about what went on in the Norse myths, that's absolutely useless. Really, they're stories for children. They do have some cool pictures in them though, and they are very easy to understand. So It is a good starting point if you want to get into it that way, but you cannot call yourself a pagan if all you're reading is those. You don't know the myths, you don't know the poems, you don't know what our ancestors were actually hearing and listening to and writing. So you got to take it past that level. Now, level 2. Let's take it a bit further back in time. We were at about the 1800s, 1700s when those kinds of books were written. We just went over. Take it back one step into level 2 of paganism. Go a bit deeper. And that's the Prose Edda. The Prose Edda. I got one here. That's by Snorri. You know all that one. Snorri Sturluson. I should pronounce his name right, but I never do. But that's the Prose Edda. That was written in about the early 1200s, and what that is, he was a priest. Simple fact of the matter, he was a priest, and most of you know about that when that book was written, and that's the next step into paganism, because it was written very close to the actual time that people were pagan. A lot of people, even high-level scholars, people with PhDs. This book was written in the early 1200s, and the official Christianization of Iceland was in about the year 1000. So they think by the time that this book was written, that paganism had just disappeared. It was gone. They had no idea what he was talking about, and a lot of people believe this, that Snorri in his Prose Edda, he really didn't have any understanding, and his word could not be really trusted on the myths. And yes, I kind of agree, because he was a Christian priest, and as we know, as I mentioned in other videos, the Christian church just tried to wipe out all examples of pagan religion from Europe, and Snorri maybe was the same, but paganism had not died out by the 1200s. Iceland was made officially Christian in the year 1000, but paganism would have continued a long time after that. People were actually allowed. It was actually written in their constitution, or whatever you want to call it, their laws, that people would be allowed to practice paganism in private in their own house. So paganism would have continued, and I'm sure his neighbors or even family members would have been pagan. So Snorri absolutely does have a good knowledge of paganism, even though he was a priest, and we can kind of say, take his version of the Norse myths with a little grain of salt. So that's that. Then we go a little bit deeper. Step 3, level 3, into the understanding of pre-Christian Norse religion, and that's the Poetic Edda. And it's just Example of this one right here, Poetic Edda, also written by Snorri in the 1200s, early 1200s, but the poems in this book are much, much older than that. Everybody agrees that these poems were from 300-400 years before that. So just because of the linguistic evidence, definitely these poems are from pagan times. These are the poems and stories about the gods that our pre-Christian ancestors would have actually been using and speaking and hearing. So that you can consider that the Poetic Edda. You can consider that our Bible. We do not have a Bible, but this is about as close as it gets, because we know this is the only work. Only full comprehensive work that details all of the myths and on all of the beliefs like that. So that's the level 3. You can go even deeper and look at things from even later on in time, in pagan time. Maybe the sagas or some runic inscriptions, archaeological finds, and there's not a whole lot of that. And it's very difficult to understand, and that's the problem. Is once you look at these things, you're at the deepest you can go in the study of Norse myths and beliefs. But like I said, you're just finding little pieces of the puzzle from here and there, everywhere. Different works, like I said, sagas, archaeological finds, runic inscriptions, things like that, and it's really, really cryptic and vague, and you're reading it and you think, like, what the heck is this? So don't expect to read anything here and see and have all of your questions answered. Most likely you're going to have more questions after you read it than when you start, but they're very, very valuable sources, and we can learn a whole lot from that. Because there is an infinite amount of evidence there that we can study till the end of time, really, and be analytical and be creative and put the pieces together from all we know, and we can come up with some very good theories and conclusions about what our myths actually mean and what our ancestors actually believed in. So that's about it. Maybe if you want to go a 5th step, we've taken 4 steps deep into the web of Norse myths. If you want to go a 5th step, if you want to go even further, you can learn Old Norse. You can learn the language of your pagan ancestors. That would be the best to do if you want to fully understand the myths. Or if not, then you have to trust other people's translations of it. And of course, you have to be able to kind of make up your own opinions and things like that instead of just listen to what other people are saying as well. So it's not easy, of course. And learning Old Norse is not going to be easy, but if you really want to get into it, then that would be the final step you could take if you really wanted to go and understand the Norse pre-Christian religion. So I know it's hard. And I wish we could just open up a book like a Bible and read it, and it'll tell us exactly what our ancestors believed, exactly what they thought about the afterlife, exactly what they thought about the universe. But there's just none of this. We don't have that. I wish we did, but we don't. But that's okay. You know what? That's all right, because our religion, the pre-Christian religion, it's not something you just read and have all the answers. That's not what our ancestors thought, and that's not what nature is about. Nature is about a constant quest for knowledge, and if there's one thing we can learn from all the myths, the only thing that's present in every myth pretty much is the quest for knowledge. It's Odin and his quest for knowledge and wisdom. So that's okay if you don't know everything. I definitely don't, and there's no one on the earth today in 2020 that does know everything about the Norse myths, but that's okay. It's our goal, it's our religion, it's part of it to seek wisdom, to seek answers, to seek things from our past, and seek information about the universe. And then you come up with your own theories, and then it'd be amazing if we all have theories and we can bounce them off of each other as a community. So that's really what I want to start doing with this channel, and make a big community out of it, so we can all try and get to the bottom of things and see what Norse paganism was actually about. So that's about it for today. See you next time.